I think it's fair to say I'm probably the only person on earth who wishes we had 4 weeks of the preseason still. I love this stuff. It's our last one. And we got games spread out a lot nicer than they were last week. So we'll dive into all of this. A couple for Thursday. I'll have games for Friday and all of the Saturday games as well. Anything else, all of the Sunday stuff. And of course, for the regular season, all of my player props. We'll have a ton of that. All of my early picks before the videos come out. You can find me in the Odd Shopper Marketplace. Certainly won't cost you an arm and a leg. We're building an awesome community there, making money. And of course, we're playing some big time lotto ticket parlays because what is football? What is basketball without trying to hit the big one along the way? If you want to join me, get all of those picks early, get all of the spots, join a great community. Links in the description and it's in the pinned comment. Say what's up, jump in the Discord when you're over there as well. But let's dive into some football for today. We've actually had, believe it or not, some decent games. Like Bo Nix has looked great. The Chicago Bears, who we'll talk about, have looked fantastic. But the first game we got to get into here, and hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on X, by the way, at Loughy_D. It's right there. You want to come over and hang for all of that content throughout the season, is going to be the Indianapolis Colts and the Bengals. Now, the Colts are big favorites here, 6.5 points, right? Minus 278 on the money line, 34.5 point total. Here's why. These teams held joint practices this week, but Zach Taylor, unsurprisingly, isn't going to play as starters. We saw a couple drives from Joe Burrow for week one, and that's it. Shane Steichen is going to play as starters, and he's saying we're going to get they're going to play into the second quarter. So when I hear that, I assume one quarter, and I hope for more. Kind of like the Bears last week. I mean, we smashed that play, 6.5 point favorites against this same Bengals team. It was never even a question, right? And Williams ended up playing the first half, but he wouldn't have needed to. Again, we'll get to the Bears in a second, but last year, Anthony Richardson played the entire first half in week 3. He was a rookie, though, so I wouldn't necessarily bet on that. Yet Gardner Minshew and Sam Ehlinger played 2 series apiece in the second half. But this is the thing. Last week, neither Richardson nor Joe Flacco played. So what does that mean? I think it means that we see some Joe Flacco in relief. And I watched the presser after joint practice on Tuesday, and Steichen was like, hey, listen, we got 17 games after this, or 17 days until the first game, so we got to get our guys ready. Flacco's clearly the number 2. So whether it's Ehlinger that comes in after Flacco, Keaton Slovis, Jason Bean to finish out the game even, they've all played surprisingly well through the first 2 weeks of the preseason, right? They scored, 20, 21 against Arizona. They put up 30 against the Broncos. And also, the Bengals have just been terrible this preseason. Zach Taylor doesn't care. He's 3-11 straight up in the preseason, 6-6 against the spread. And it is a big spread, but it's looking like they're not even going to have Jake Browning this week either. So you're talking about Logan Woodside, who was pretty awful last week. Also, the pressure and also just the unawareness. I mean, he got hammered. If you watch that game, he got crushed. I mean, just flattened because he wasn't looking over his shoulder. I mean, these guys were coming in and just crushing his blind side. And then you've got undrafted rookie Rocky Lombardi. So yeah, 6.5 points is a lot. Not going to deny that, but it's just tough to trust anything Cincinnati's doing right now in the preseason, especially with none of their starters on the field. If you get a first half from Richardson and from Joe Flacco, that to me is enough, particularly with how well some of these, third, fourth, even fifth string quarterbacks have played for the Colts. Give me Colts minus 6.5 against the Bengals. Second and final game on Thursday, Bears at the Kansas City Chiefs. Bears laying a point. This has gone back and forth. Like, Bears were 3.5 point dogs. I don't know why. I tried to bet that and it moved just as I was doing so to Chiefs minus 1.5, and now it's back to Bears minus 1. 32 point total, Bears minus 125 in the money line. I'm going to tell you why it's moving like this and why I'm having a tough time with it as well. I really wish it wasn't the case too, and I'll tell you why right now. We already know that neither team plans on playing their starters, which should have been expected. All right. Caleb Williams and many of the starters for Chicago, they played the entire first half, like I said, last week against Cincinnati. And Andy Reid did what he always, he did what he always did or does, where he says he's going to play the guys a full half, and then they play a quarter or less. That's exactly what happened, right? Like Mahomes and company played less than a quarter. Reid's week 1 and week 2 rotations are super predictable. We know that if you've watched this and hung out with me over the past, 3 years now. But week 3, not so much. Because last year you had Shane Buechele, their QB3, started. Then the QB2, Blaine Gabbert, played a good amount. In 2022, QB2 playing Chad Henne played the first 2 series. Then Bouchel took over and played essentially the rest of the game. And then in 2021, Mahomes actually played 2 series, and Bouchel finished out the game there as well. He dropped back 36 times. So my best guess, you get, say, 2 drives from Carson Wentz, then Chris Oladokun plays the rest of the game with maybe a series or 2 from Ian Book. That's not great. But what about Chicago? Here's the tricky part. This is actually what matters a lot more to me. If you told me right now that Tyson Bagent and Brett Rippon were going to get the majority of work in this game, I would hammer the Bears at -1, okay? I would. They've looked awesome in the preseason. Not just the starters, but Tyson Bagent's looked great. Brett Rippon in limited opportunities, he's looked really good as well. My concern, though, is that their 4th-string quarterback, assuming he's still on the roster by Thursday, I'm recording this Wednesday afternoon, Austin Reed. If this is one of those games where he just ends up playing a lot, that scares me. And the added wrinkle and concern here is that they had the Hall of Fame game, so they've already played 3. Well, that one was canceled due to weather late in the 3rd. But let's say they played 3 games already. I would lean Bears here still, because I think Bagent and Rippon in some capacity still get some work. But I need more info before doing anything, because I don't want like 3/4 of Austin Reed here, and then we're sitting there going, shit. What did we do? But if we find out we're going to get more Bagent and Rippon, I'll be hammering over 32 as well. I know most games have gone under. I talked about this in the Discord the other day. 26-7 to the under through 33 games is crazy. But I feel like they may have over-adjusted here. Now, any news that comes out, hit me up in the Discord. Like I said, link in the description in the pinned comment. I'll throw some stuff on Twitter as well. But that's all I got for now, guys. I give you as much information as out there. If it's not there, I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you it is. But give me the Colts. And right now I'd lean Bears, but I want more info on that. So we'll see you back here tomorrow for Friday's games, and then 8 games on Saturday. All of my Sunday games go in the Discord and the marketplace. And if you download the app, you're getting the alerts straight to your phone. Same thing for the regular season as well. But aside from that, we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.